Look at. Yep, movement all lowercase. Look at this guy. He's growing fuzz on his face. Anyone see?
You can't really see it. You need a. Oh, dirty.
I know.
Especially the sunset.
What?
Got technical difficulties, guys.
What the hell? All right, we're having some technical difficulties. What are you talking about? It's this is so odd. I don't know why. Yep. Hold on. I can send you an invite. That's so odd. Because that's what it is. Maybe they are having trouble coming in. All right. Let me. No, I don't think so. Yeah. That's really odd. All right. Don't look at my porn, guys. Gmail. All right. Let me.
DuckDuckGo. What's that?
It's a thing. It's a search engine that doesn't track you. Wait, oh, probably close this down. Don't look at my email.
What's that? Porn.
Shut up. What's your email address, Jane? Sorry, guys, bear with me for a second. I don't wonder why this isn't working. It's so odd.
There's a D. Is that a D?
That's so odd. I don't know why that's the case.
Hey, can you give the coffee to your mom, please?
What is that?
Who's that?
I have no
someone
idea.
in here. Wait, are you live with someone?
I'm not sure. I heard something, right? It wasn't just me, right?
Is someone?
Yeah,
oh,
Adam.
Oh.
Adam's here. How come Adam made it? How come you couldn't
Sorry.
make it?
No, my bad.
Hey, Carlotta. How's it going?
Hi. How are you guys?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Just bored. When you guys opening?
Oh, hopefully soon. As I said before, I think ACT's already gone into level 2 restrictions, which means they can open now.
Yeah?
So hopefully New South Wales we're not far behind. I'm hoping, honestly, maybe a month. I'm hoping a month, within the month. But we're gonna start looking at doing small group classes outside maybe soon. We're just working out the logistics of how to do it. But have you been training? Have you been training with Adam?
I wish. No, we've been very, very lazy actually.
All right. It's understandable.
It's sad.
You're not working yet either.
I am like doing deliveries.
Oh yeah, okay. So
yeah.
I mean that's
well, better than nothing, I guess. Better than stay at home all day. So I'm doing deliveries. But you know, since I stopped, my shoulder and my knee start hurting very bad. So yeah. So now I'm going to the physio like once a week, and that's why I'm not even training because my knee's bad.
It gets worse when you go.
I don't know. That's what I said to the physio. Like I haven't been doing anything for like a month, and why all this pain coming from? Like I don't know.
Oh, that's kind of odd. So your body wants to move, but you're not.
Probably because I'm not doing much, and then I'm always on my phone. So my back. That's Kamora. Can you hear Kamora? Kamora, shut up.
I've got my dog here as well, Boba here as well. He
Where
heard,
is he?
your dog going off. And he's going.
Kamora.
Boba. Boba. They're going off at each other now. All right, bring him in.
Hi, Jane. I can see Jane.
She's in? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm in.
Oh, finally. That took like forever. This is a very bad, we're very bad at this, apparently. All right, let me set this up. There we go. All right. Kong's in.
Yeah, Kong, he wants to know all about me. He's been excited about it for 24 hours straight.
Okay. Oh, there you go. There's a pup. How you guys go? Hey, Ben. Coach James?
Ah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's cute.
Yeah. Brought him in
James,
to
take a dog as well.
she's missed Coach Jane
Right.
too. I mean, he's missed Coach Jane.
Kamora,
Hey.
Kamora.
So yeah, so how you been, Jane?
Yeah, it's been tough. It's been particularly tough because obviously we all know that I spend a lot of time on the mats and a lot of time out and about at work. So yeah, isolation has been specifically tough for me.
Yeah.
You know, and I live by myself as well, so it's a big change for me. I'm working remotely and training. I'm trying to train remotely and keep moving because I start to go a bit crazy. So it's been an adjustment for me.
Yeah. Are you training every day, or are you what do you usually do?
Yeah, so my conditioning gym that I work with in the morning, so they've done online classes, so they've actually done it pretty well. What they did is they started an online group and they made us pay like a small fee for anyone who wanted to join in the online groups, because they started to get a bit of traction with them actually. So now they do like a systematic approach to like weight training and cardio training, which is really good. So you know, on one day they'll do like a push-pull class, the next day it'll be like legs and shoulders, and the next day it's cardio. So and it consistently changes. So by the time you get throughout the week, you've done your whole body workout. So I'm trying to do that stuff in the morning.
Yep.
And then in the afternoon, you know, particularly because I'm sitting down and pretty stable all day, I will try and get out for a run, or I recently got some hey Jay, I recently purchased some tatami mats and I decked out. Anybody that's been to my house, I've got plenty of spare rooms. So I have decked out one whole spare room with mats. So I've had Jake come over and we're rolling, which has been it's been fun actually. I think the first night Jake and I rolled, we were like rolling for like an hour and a half straight, and we didn't even realise where the time had went. Yeah. So it's just really, you know, it demonstrates. Yeah, I think it just demonstrates like how much like we're all missing it. You don't even realise until you start getting back into it. You're like, yeah, I definitely miss it. So yeah, look, I'm trying to keep active. I know, you know, just talking to some of the other guys, you know, it's hard, you know, facility and equipment they have available, they haven't been able to really stay active, which I think is okay as well. But I think we're all just doing the best that we can.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we're kind of at the start we weren't too sure what was going to happen, so all we were doing was just lifting weights and pretty much hitting the bag. And we started, I think, rolling about just me and him, really, right? For like maybe once a week, about 4 weeks ago. Not much, yeah. Just so we can do something, and it's like the cardio is definitely suffering, like especially going against him, you know, right? It's like fucking bullshit. It's like, what the hell, man? I'm like, I need one warm-up round and one warm-down round. So really, if we do a 3-round roll, I have one good round, and that's it. You know, like it's hard. Yeah, it's hard. I think when everyone gets back, it's like you'll be able to tell those that have been training, because they will like, you'll be like, how are they? Do they have so much gas? Yeah, how are they still doing so many rounds? But
it's going to be so many people sitting to the side.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, we're gonna have to do like 5-minute rounds again. But yeah, but I think, I mean, everyone's kind of here. That's, you know, we're still trying to train as much as we can every day if we can. Just lifting weights or even going for a run. Like Billy's like literally training probably more than he was when he was here, but just not rolling, you know, which is kind of funny. But yeah, it's been really hard. Like I live by myself too, so it's like I can't train with anyone. So it's just like I'm just like lifting this guy.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think I'm actually training more than I was, because obviously my training with coaching and stuff, I was maybe doing like, I probably got in like 3 to 4 good classes a week, and the rest I was, you know, coaching or assisting. So yeah, I think I might be training a little bit more. It's just different kind of training. I think that, you know, you condition yourself you know, when I first started doing the proper weights training, I was gassed. I hate it. I still hate weights training. I think weights training is just so boring. Yeah, it's boring. But yeah, so now I'm sort of starting to get conditioned to that. And when, you know, I'm rolling on the mats with Jake, I'm like, whoa, this is different.
Yeah.
So yeah,
after doing all those weights and then now going back to wrestling.
Yeah, I feel stronger. I think. Yeah, well, Jake's about 10 kilos heavier after the last time I saw him before isolation, and I can still throw him around a little bit. So I think I'd like to think it's working.
She's
but
definitely stronger.
Definitely. Which is weird, right? Because I lost actually a lot of weight when I got sick.
Lucky you.
You know, I not really. I got sick. Charlie, I got really, really sick just before lockdown. You know, all the lockdown rules happened. I was in hospital for a little while, so I probably lost around 3 to 4 kilos, and I've slowly just started to like, you know, just start to put some stuff back on because it was like it wasn't healthy skinny. It was like gaunt skinny. But yeah, you know, I'm starting to get a bit of nutrition back in and an appetite back. Yeah, so I've also started, now that we're allowed to do boot camps, I've started to do the boot camps with my gym in the morning, which is again a challenge. It's different, you know. So just doing what we can, and it's interesting to see that, you know, how different gyms are adapting to it. It's so hard. You know, my gym's actually done all right in the morning. They've got about 40 people doing the online classes, and they're charging $60 a month to do all the online stuff. And I think it is a lot of work to do videos, edit them, upload them, and then they do watch parties. So you sort of have a schedule of you know, somewhat of a routine, which I think is good for people. And now they're doing $12 per boot camp, which they've opened up to everybody. They've done it through the Mind Body app, so anybody, you don't even have to be a member of the gym. You can just go do a boot camp, and it's $12. They do an hour boot camp, which you do get a good workout. So I think slowly we'll start to get back into it and get adjusted, but it is tough.
Yeah, I think we're that's kind of why we're looking at possibly doing boot camp style training as well. But we've got to figure out like how we're going to incorporate some of the elements that, you know, make it really fun for martial arts, especially because when you can't have a partner, it makes it really difficult to really work effectively. So we're trying to figure out how to do that really. And the fact that you can't really share equipment makes it, again, a little bit more difficult. We can't do circuit training. We can't do ground and pound work. There's a lot of things that we can't do. So we're trying to figure out what's the best way to utilize everything. I think. So
the way that they're doing it at the moment is every time we get off a station, we have to sanitize, like there's a spray bottle and a, so you just spray, and then the next person, you have to bring a towel, obviously. The next person goes on that and uses that stuff. So maybe that's an option, so you don't have to have all the equipment. And it's exercises like one station is like legs, right? So you do 10 reps of each, the way that they're doing it. So they've got a slam ball, for example, and you're doing 10 slams, 10 ball throws, and then 10 over the shoulders. And you do that for 9 minutes, and then you move on to the next station. There's 3 stations. So you get like a good, 25-minute workout. And it's pretty effective. And then at the end, they might just take us for a run around the park. And by the end of it, you're done. So, I think you can sanitize between stations. I don't really know the rules, but that's what they're doing.
So when I had a look into this, and there's like all sorts of different information, and the AIS released a thing where, again, it's guidelines only, and it did say that where are you going? You're not allowed to share equipment, which is why. But maybe. I mean, it didn't have anything saying, well, if you're sharing equipment, you have to sanitize. It was very gray. Like, So, but it did say no sharing of equipment. Everyone must have their own thing. So it makes it harder for us to, for example, even if we're to say, for example, bring some bags down, it makes it hard that you can't even use the bags together. But I guess if sanitizing the equipment as we go is doable, then we will definitely do it. So we're looking at starting, I guess, classes in the next sort of, well, for kids especially, we've started, hey, Charlie, hey.
I made it.
Yeah. We started looking at, we started calling around for all the kids' parents to see if they can, if they want to do classes, and there's a lot of interest for kids. So we're going to run that first as a trial to see how that works in real life. Especially now the weather's kind of turning a little bit. It makes it a little bit harder for us to plan, because if it starts raining, then what do we do? Like, do we have,
cancel it, yeah.
Yeah, like, do you guys still train in the rain?
Nah, so the good thing is there's like an online, like everyone's sort of on the online Facebook group, so they can push out notifications easily. Or they just specifically message us and say, hey, it's off. Or when people go in and book, because the hard thing is we might have to set up like in the Mind Body app. So it cuts off when people book in. You know what I mean? So so it's pretty easy for them to communicate to us, and they cancelled. I was booked in for a class last night. They cancelled it, so I went to this morning's class. They've cancelled it a few times, but
we can do we can do that as well, actually. So with our app, we can have a booking system ready and how many people can book, and you can have a waiting room and everything. So that's all good. So everything's ready for it, I guess. So when we do restart, we even have a plan for when we do restart. We have to have some sort of social distancing here. We do have a plan. So we just got to wait. Honestly, we're waiting for the okay to basically open the gym. So before that happens, though, we do still want to get people back into it. Yeah, just so you're not like Charlie was saying earlier, like she's still feeling all these pains and whatnot from not training, just to get people back into it on slowly, like maybe just getting some light exercises going so you start moving around a little bit. Just so when you're back on the mats and when we can do everything, it's not such a shock. Like, it's not like rolling, Will for 5 rounds in a row, it's like you do 1 round and you have like a 2-round rest, and then you do another round, and then Will can go wrestle some other people for a while, and then you wrestle him again after he gets tired. Like that's the plan basically, until you can roll with him full speed. But yeah, so that's.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
They say that, so Melbourne have announced gyms are opening, I think on the 22nd of June, but they haven't announced it here yet, which is weird. I find that weird considering Melbourne is probably New South Wales was in a worse state. Now Melbourne's in a bit of trouble with McDonald's closing down and the meat farms and all that sort of stuff. I think people are just itching for gyms to get open.
I don't understand why they're opening restaurants but they're not opening gym.
Totally.
It's healthier going to the gym.
Massages are allowed, right?
Yeah, I just don't get it. Like, you can eat and spit on a plate, and then the waiter have to drag it around, but you can't sweat and build the immune system. That doesn't make sense.
Totally.
Yeah, I think they're kind of looking at it from a control point of view, in that they idealistically the idea that a restaurant can be open kind of makes sense. I can see how that will make sense, but the reality is that no one's going to follow it, right? Like, they've opened the pubs and whatnot to like 20 people and whatnot, but they said, you got to have social distancing. Everyone must be within like their own, 2 square meters or something like that. It's like, okay, the rules are there, but no one's going to follow it, right? Like, it's like at a restaurant, who's going to sit, 4 square meters or 2 square meters from each other?
Yeah, and how is the waiter supposed to get you the food anyway?
Yeah, exactly. So
he's just gonna throw everything.
Just 5 plates. Here you go, boom.
Like frisbee.
Yeah,
I do it.
the idea is there, but the implementation is not quite there. It's like the same thing with opening parks up to everyone. You know, it's like the idea is great. You can really, you know, separate if you really want to. But every time I drive past a park at the moment, it's like nobody's just social distancing. So what's the point? You know, you might as well.
Totally.
I
agree.
Up at this point, you know, it's like, yeah, but I see how it works, but realistically, you might as well just let everyone open. Like if you're letting massages happen, like, you know, if you can still go to the physio, go to massage and all that sort of stuff. I'm getting my wisdom teeth out, right? So I can go to the dentist. I can get all that done. It's like you're much closer in that way to someone than a lot of times when you work out. So, you know.
Yeah. Do you guys, I know that there's a 3-stage process within the, you know, the fitness industry.
Yeah.
Do you think we will be open in what phase? Because I know we're at phase 1 at the moment, which is just boot camps. What do you think phase 2 and phase 3 looks like for us?
So phase 2, I think for us will be like if they open gyms up, like as in you're allowed to operate now. You're allowed to open your facilities up. So for us, that's when we can go sort of full bore in terms of classes, because then we can start doing bag classes. You know, we're foreseeing maybe what we could do is we can have obviously stations. Everyone has their own pads and whatnot, so you can start doing things like that. But I assume there's going to be like a 20 people limit because we're at 10 at the moment for classes. So I'm foreseeing maybe 20 people in the class. Maybe they're going to allow us to, for example, we're obviously going to do all the sanitation requirements, like cleaning everything after every session, blah, 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 between every set and that sort of thing. We're going to minimize the amount of people that's in here at one time. So obviously a lot of time between classes for people to go out and come in. And we're going to check temperatures and all that sort of stuff. So that sort of thing is pretty easy to implement. I think the hard part is, and I guess this is a bit of a gray area, is that, you know, my idea is that we can get, if you have a fixed partner, so for example, you come in, you know, you choose your partner for the day and that's your partner, that's it. And you have your own little area there. You train with your partner in that little area there, whether it's jiu-jitsu or Muay Thai. But that technically is a very gray area where I don't know the stage 2 will allow. So we might still have to do solo exercises during stage 2. So there'll be a lot more strength conditioning elements. There'll be a lot of like essentially striking by yourself, which isn't ideal, but I think that's how we're going to start first. And if that works well and they're like, okay, well, if it's possible, we can maybe then work with a partner, you know, so, and then that's a fixed partner, you know, so you can only, like, for example, roll with Jake and you have to, you know, say, okay, well, I haven't come into contact with anyone with COVID-19 in the past 14 days. I haven't had it myself in the last 14 days. And maybe, you know, like, I don't know, this is kind of a bit extreme, but maybe we can like, okay, well, you got to show us you taken the test. If you had the test done and you've shown that you don't have it, no problems. You can train. You can train with somebody else here who's also got the certificate or whatever that says, hey, test result says I don't have COVID-19. I can train now. You know, so but the thing is,
I had the test actually. I had the test because we need to go. I need to go back into work specifically because we obviously work with food. We need to sign off products, like we need to do demos and product demos and things like that. So I had the test, and the test is awful. Like I really hope, like, because they're obviously encouraging people now to go get tested where you can. If you're sick, you get tested.
Can I pretend to get tested?
You can pretend to be sick and go get tested. You just have to find a place to do it. But yeah, it's literally like they get this hook swab and they get it right up the back and scrape the back of your, like right in your nose, up the back. It feels like you were literally like getting skull fucked. It's crazy. I was so uncomfortable. Like my eyes were watering. I was like, oh my God.
I don't know if I told you this, but I was part of a flu vaccine study last year, and they did the same. Right. Yeah, so it's like this long, right? And they stick it in your nose, and they're like digging in there. Yeah.
Your eyes just start watering.
You're like, what the fuck is happening?
Yeah, totally.
That's so funny because me and Adam did it together.
No, you got.
Me and Adam did it together. Yeah, and we were in the same car. And I should have put a camera there because when they did the first to Adam, and he started sweating like he was drenched. His eyes were watery, and he was just, I need water. Like, what? I'm gonna die. and then they did it. She did it to me, and I didn't feel a thing. Like, literally,
really?
I didn't feel a thing. But Adam was just panicking. He was upside down in the car, and it was just, oh my goodness. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, it's so funny because we get like punched in the face. We're able to get punched in the face and hit and stuff. Yeah. Put a little swab up your nose, and everyone, like, seriously, I was like, oh, that is the worst thing ever.
Yeah, I wonder why that is. Why some people react really bad to it? Because I felt like I just needed to sneeze. Like when they put it up there, I was like, I want to sneeze. Yeah, it's so odd. And they show you how long it is afterwards. I'm like, that thing was in my head. You're like, what the hell, man? How did you get this in my nose? Like, what the fuck? Right? Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, but it's interesting because I've been watching that YouTube channel of that doctor that you sent through.
That British guy.
Keeping up with him, and he's saying that the virus isn't mutating faster than we are building antibodies for it. So that they do believe we'll do herd immunity before we actually get a vaccine for it, because that's the thing, right?
Yeah.
You know, I don't think we're going to be able to travel. I was supposed to leave yesterday to go to the States. I think, Will, you were supposed to leave last. You know, I don't want to get there before the end of the year. I don't think it's going to happen without a vaccine. But I think maybe a herd immunity is where we're probably going to head, as long as we all get infected before the virus mutates.
But there's not even, like, it's so hard now, right? There's not that many people even infected at this point, right? Like, it's like, I think there's only 500 active cases in Australia right now. And it's like one person a day that gets tested and gets positive results. It's like, how do we even get herd immunity at this point? It's like, how do we, like, cough on me, man, cough on me. It's like, you don't even know if you have COVID-19, right? Like,
Totally.
So it's hard, right? Like, we're at this point where we're kind of in limbo, and you can't travel anywhere else, right? You can travel to New Zealand, I think, soon, but like, we can't. If the rest of the world's still fucked up, then what do we do?
Oh, America's the worst.
Yeah.
America's the worst. He's opening. Trump is sort of opening everything up at the moment. Like, I saw a video. They opened up pubs because they did this sanction in the courts, and they got to the point where they're like, we can't actually tell you to close if you don't want to close. So pubs opened up. And they're all in the pub and they've got beer and they're next to each other. It's like, you jerks. Like, you were just, like, we're in a global pandemic and you guys are going to the pubs.
They've got guns, so it's kind of hard to stop guys coming up to you with guns saying, hey, I want to go out. It's like, well, all right, you go there. Right?
Go on, mate.
Yeah. I don't know. I hope that we're pretty much opening up now anyway, so it's hopefully, like you said, we have that herd immunity, and we can just get this behind us as quickly as possible, because I want to compete.
Totally. How do you think we'll deal like with people being sick? What rules and parameters do you reckon we'll set around that? We're gonna have to send people home, or how do you?
Definitely. Like, so that's what we've been saying about how we wanted to we need to test temperatures at the door, but also obviously before you come in, we got to make sure that everyone understands that you mustn't have been sick, I guess, or displayed symptoms in the past 14 days. You haven't been exposed to anyone that has had it in the last 14 days. And just the general guidelines the government have been providing and the AIS have been providing, as long as we follow those guidelines. And if anyone does become sick, we obviously have to say, look, immediately you can't be here. And that's from the door, like, as soon as at the door, we'll get this guy with a temperature gun and say, boom, I'm the body, I'm the bouncer, okay? You're gonna be bounced or you're gonna come in. All right, so he's gonna be.
Yeah, it's not a grey area, Will. You can't be like, oh, maybe you could come in.
You can't let them be want to roll them, okay? You can't let them in just because you want to train with them. But
they cough during class.
coughing's okay. I think coughing's okay. Coughing's okay. But I think as long as they don't, they declare that they haven't had any symptoms in the past 14 days, that they're not feeling sick the day they come in, when they're coming in to train. And I guess it has to be every day. Every time someone comes in to train, they have to declare it again. Say, look, I haven't been doing this, I haven't been sick, and we'll have to temperature test them.
Yeah.
Honestly, I don't know what else we could do other than make people wear masks as they're training, which is kind of ridiculous. And maybe, well, yeah, I mean, that's extra work, right? Like, it makes it a little bit more intense, the workouts. But maybe, yeah, and we just have to make sure, everyone wears scratch guards and things like that, so you're a little bit more protected. And we might have to shorten class times just so there's not as much time together. Besides that, I don't really know anything else that we can do to mitigate it in a sport where contact is so important.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard to tell now, and I think it'll evolve, and like as things change and get better, everyone's going to have to adapt.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you just got to stick with it and pray that we'll get through it, I guess.
Yeah. How would you see the classes running? Like, how would you like to see a class running?
Look, I think it depends like what type of class it is. I think it's a really good opportunity for us to get in strength and conditioning classes and really give that a go.
Yep.
Because I think that there is.
You're a volunteer.
Yeah, wow. Yeah, I really do think that there is an opportunity for us to I think there's a bit of a grey area in which we could potentially recruit new members and have a variety of classes, particularly for the guys that maybe just do Muay Thai and they want, a bit of strength and conditioning. If we can get that class in there, I think it's a really good opportunity. To sort of cover that area of the gym that we don't maybe particularly offer as much right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think there's opportunity there. Muay Thai classes are always going to be easier than Jiu-Jitsu. If I'm thinking Jiu-Jitsu, yeah, maybe it is sort of taping off one area. So maybe like you tape off 2 mats to 2 people and then you sanitize if you're changing partners, things like that. I think when people see that we're actively taking precautions to sanitize and be as safe as possible and temperature check at the door, you will get people coming, feeling a bit more comfortable, and it might not be, straight away at the start. I think there are people, particularly like these 2 at the bottom, there are people that are just going to come back straight back. You know what I mean? Like you're loyal, you're sort of martial arts loyalists. They'll come back. They'll want to get to the gym. But I think where we'll see the tail off and where it's going to be hard is recruitment again.
Yeah.
I
also feel like a lot of people now, they're kind of seeing this thing as, I guess, for what it is that it is a virus that doesn't affect the young as much as it does the sort of the old. And I think our demographic is very well protected in that regard. But, like you said, we just got to make people feel safe. And I think most people now, especially the ones I've spoken to, they a little bit more aware of what the virus is like, whereas at the start we didn't know how bad it was, or how, okay, he's barking or something, how bad it was. So it's kind of like we're at the point where kind of know, okay, it's not that deadly. It is deadly, but everyone's kind of like, well, let's get back to life kind of thing. Like, it's not as scary as we once thought it was, which is a good thing. As long as we take precautions, we can beat this thing. So, and I feel like a lot of people are just itching to move. Hey, like you said, even basic strength and conditioning classes is, just to get people back in the swing of things. And it's something that we were looking at offering, Boba. We were looking at offering, before we moved anyway, before we shut down anyway, we were looking at how we can incorporate it into our classes. So now it's a great time to start including those type of classes in the schedule, you know. So we just got to figure out how to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. And yeah, like I said, I think we'll evolve. I think people are going to be more aware. But the thing is, I think people are looking to get back to a community as well. I know I miss that the most. And if the gym's strong at anything, it's community and relationships that we have with people. So, yeah, I think it'll be a build up. But yeah, let's think about how we maybe get in a strength and conditioning class and see what the appetite for that is as well, and if we can.
Yeah, I mean, anything to help Jake lose 5 or 10 kilos is a good idea, right?
Yeah, he needs to get his 10 kilos off. I'm at the lightest I've ever been, and Jake's at the heaviest, and there's a big difference, I swear.
Yeah. It's interesting because like I'm actually lifting more weights now, so I'm gaining weight because there's nothing else to do. Like I literally have nothing to do. Like so I'm like, just lift weights. I can't wrestle, can't train, so let's just lift weights. So it's
just lift weights, and then you're at home a lot, so you eat as well. So you like snack, and you're bored. When you're busy and always on the go, you don't think about your stomach as much. Yeah, totally. This guy, he's got the noodles. You're at home, man. You put some bloody.
I'm finding myself going through a lot of beers. Like I'm drinking like a 6-pack a day. It's like, fuck, man, just no bueno.
No, alcohol is something I haven't actually resorted to, surprisingly. I don't think I've actually had a drink in isolation. I don't think I have, but I was very, very sick. Like even maybe 4 or 5 weeks after, I was just so sick. Like didn't touch anything, and that's how I lost all that weight. And I'm trying to like progressively put it on the right way by lifting weights. And eating properly, but it's hard. Like it's hard, and I think we're in unprecedented times, and it's a little crazy for everyone. But I'm glad that Australia has done probably better than any other country in the world.
Yeah,
I think really there.
I think we're when you look at the curve, we're like third best. Like when you look at the curve, we're like the third lowest from the bottom. We're like, man, that's awesome. It's Yeah, so I think we're going to come out as all right. It's just a matter of whether you can go to America, whether you can go, go compete somewhere else. I think that's going to be the biggest issue.
To be honest, I think America and Europe.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly.
Yeah, go on.
No, I think America and Europe until 2021, we're not going to go there. Well, Italy, no way.
Yeah.
Italy and America, I think no way.
Would you want to go?
No, I don't. But I was planning to go this year back home, but ain't happening.
Yeah.
I was planning to get full stripe this year, but ain't happening.
Yeah, you get the full stripe. Don't worry.
Come on, we got locked down when I got my first.
You can do a Zoom.
I'm burning. I actually did send it to you.
Yeah, you got all the moves though.
I did.
All the moves.
Yeah, I did.
Jake will get his brown belt this year too. Jake will finally get his brown belt.
Yeah, no, that's not happening. Yeah. Oh shit. Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Once you reopen, how long do you think the first grade? Because you close grading with.
What the grading is, right? Well, we hope. I mean, it all depends.
Reopen, yeah.
All depends. Like, I want to be able to grade people within sort of 6 to 8 weeks once we reopen, but it all depends on what we can actually do when we reopen. If we reopen, you're still not allowed to have partner exercises. It's going to make it hard for us to do the grading and for you to practice as well. But, like I said, Zoom grading is not out of the question. Like if you can do it with Adam and show us all the moves, and I'm happy to give you a stripe as long as you just demonstrate the moves. So grading wise, maybe that's something we could do. But in terms of when we're going to hold like an official grading, it's up in the air. But like I said, if Zoom grading is definitely on the books, we can definitely do something like that.
I sent you my 10,
Was that 10?
on grading day.
I just saw bits of it because you sent it. I think Andrew looked at it, and then I didn't know. I just saw bits of it. I'm like, oh, that's cool. She's still training. I didn't realize I was upgrading moves.
Yeah,
but
we trained like 1 week and then we give up. It was like 1 week we got all excited, like the first 1 or 2 weeks we got all excited and we were like, putting mats down, just moving all the furniture and that. And then that got over. He's brown and white and there is no point for him in enrolling. So
there's always a point. There's always a point.
Yeah, but it gets bored with me, so fair enough.
That's Jane, how big is your mat space in your spare room?
It's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. So it's 3 by 4 meters. 3 by 4 meters. Yeah. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4 mats, and then 3 mats this way. So it's pretty decent space. I mean, maybe Jake and I run into the wall twice. Because one day I was going to put his head through the wall, but no, it's actually been surprisingly like we don't even think about it. And I think when you naturally when you're rolling, you naturally adjust to know where the walls are and all that sort of stuff. So
it's pretty easy because I don't move too much, so it's okay. It's just I worry about Jane hitting the walls or the mirror or whatever.
She's power double legging you. That's why she's just like power driving you into the walls. But hey, we got to run because we don't have the professional version of Zoom. It's been good chatting to you guys. We should actually do this more often. This is pretty fun. But,
totally. And thank you for having me on. And I'm looking forward to getting back on the mats, as I'm sure everybody else is.
Yeah, and we'll definitely keep you guys all updated as to what we're doing. Like I said, man, I've got nothing else to do. So hey, Adam. Hey. So I definitely want to see you guys again in person and do something in real life. Yeah.
Yes, totally. All right, guys. Chat soon.
Right. Catch you guys soon. Bye.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.
See you.
See you. I'm live.
Oh, she's still there.